Hi, and welcome to our digital curriculum night. Let me open this up so that you can see the entire presentation. This is for the Head Start team for the school year 2016-2017. Before we begin, let me introduce our team. Here's Ms. Whitaker and Ms. Sanderson, Ms. Coleman, Ms. Spivey, and Ms. Gent, Ms. Thomas and Ms. Nash, Mr. Justin and Ms. B, and finally Ms. Frommeyer and Ms. Ward. This comprises the monolingual or the English Head Start team. To begin our curriculum today, we will focus on our emergent literacy domain. There are two portions to the emergent literacy domain. There's reading and there's writing. And in McKinney ISD, we use the balanced literacy approach. And you will learn a little bit more about that approach as we discuss how we will focus our energy in emergent literacy this year. So as you see, the child enjoys being read to and knows when a favorite story has a part left out. So for example, if we have a read aloud in class, something that they're very familiar with, maybe Pete the Cat, and something is left out, they'll be able to remember by using their skill of recall and memory to tell you what part is left out and the details to what's left out. The child enjoys looking at books and telling a story from the pictures or from memory. And this is a huge skill at this grade level and even on into kindergarten and first grade because there is so much that the child cannot read yet. Even if they know sight words or even if they can decode words, there are still so many words that are difficult to decode, and a lot of times books that are really interesting and engaging for children have a lot of words on the page. So from a very young age, we teach our children and our students how to look at a picture critically and think about what could be going on in the story based on the details in the picture. You can do this at home by modeling thinking aloud as we do in the classroom. I might open up a book and say, I'm not sure what it says, but I do know what's happening on this page. I think that this character is doing these things. I wonder what they'll do next. And by modeling that thinking aloud, it shows the students that it's okay if you don't know all the details, and it's even okay if you make mistakes when the story comes around to being read. The child also notices environmental print and connects meaning to it. And this is any print that the child might see. It might be letters, it might be words. For a great example at this age, you'll see that children are able to read labels. Labels of items that you might have in the kitchen or in the home, store names, restaurant names, car dealers, things like that that are in their familiar world. And then lastly, this is huge in our age, and this is phonemic and phonological awareness. And here are some examples of things that go under that category. Blending and segmenting individual sounds. So for example, if I gave you three sounds, k, a, t, can you put those three sounds together to blend and make the word cat? By the same token, we have onset and rhyme blending and segmenting. So if I said the word cat, can you pull apart that onset, which is the beginning sound, k, and pull apart the rhyme? And this is not the rhyme where words sound the same. This is the ending part of a spoken word. Then we have syllable blending and segmenting. So that's where we might clap out the sounds table. Two syllables are in the word table. And then we have sentence segmentation. So if you were to say a sentence to a child, as we would at our small group table, the cat ran by me. And then we would give them little manipulatives to push forward as they would repeat the sentence and push that manipulative forward for each word spoken. So you might see a Cheerio for the, another one for cat, and then ran by me. So there will be 5 words in that sentence. Can they hear those individual words? And we usually use one syllable words in those sentences because a lot of times students are unable to understand that those 2 syllable words don't count twice in our sentence counting. And the last one is rhyming and alliteration. So rhyming are those words that have the same ending sounds like cat and mat. And alliteration is when we would say multiple words that begin with the same sound, like Billy bounced a basketball, all B words. These are all very important as a student is learning how to read. They have to be able to listen critically for those smaller and smaller units of sound in spoken words so that those strong building blocks can be used in their literacy development. The other area that we'll focus on is emergent literacy in writing. So the child engages in free drawing and writing activities. We will have paper and multiple writing utensils all throughout the room where children can engage in pretend writing, maybe in the pretend center. Maybe they're writing down menu items as they're taking an order. Maybe they are copying words throughout the room or letters. Maybe they're writing friends' names from the word wall. These are just open writing activities. The child spontaneously writes in various ways, and at this age, any type of marks that a child would put on a paper, even if it doesn't look like anything to us at this stage, is considered a form of writing. So we really encourage our students to draw pictures, and when they're able to put labels to those pictures as well as write their name to finish out that drawing, we all have daily journal time when our students are engaged in writing, labeling, drawing, and either attempting to write their entire name or at least their first special letter. The child writes his or her name with correct letter sequence. This would obviously be a skill that would hopefully be mastered by the end of the school year, especially for students who will be entering kindergarten next year. That is a pre-K guideline that they can write their name in the correct sequence now. Our guidelines did recently change, and this was one of the updates. The child writes, draws, writes letters, or writes their name upon request. And as the school year continues, we will challenge students to write letters to help connect those sounds in their journals and see how many letters they can write on request. The child notices print and realizes that print carries meaning. This will be taught in the classroom in a variety of ways. We will model writing. We will model thinking before writing. We will work on editing our writing together, our class writing on chart paper. And then we will also engage in shared reading activities and read alouds to show the child that whenever I see print, there is meaning that is corresponding to that. And then on the bottom, you see we will be working on connecting letters to sounds, and we will begin to encourage students to use invented spelling. And this is really important, parents and guardians. In pre-K as well as in kindergarten, invented spelling simply means listening for the sounds that are easily detected in words. So it is completely appropriate for students our age to only write the letter B for ball. That's the beginning sound, and that's what we're really trying to focus in on. And then later on down, a lot of times before hearing that medial or middle sound, the student will hear the ending sound. So they might hear b, ul, bull, and then we work on that medial sound. And a lot of times it's those vowels that get really tricky. Those long vowels when they're used to listening for short vowel sounds. And ball is a great example because when you hear ball, b, ah, ul, the ah sound in the middle is what is generally taught as the short O sound most of the year in kindergarten. So that's just a very different type of spelling than what they're used to. So we are only looking at invented spelling. Later on down in the year, especially in the spring, we will be working on sight words, and those are words that when you see them, they pop into your mind. So in my classroom, we call them popcorn words, and the students will learn how to spell those words through song. And we will practice writing very short sentences in our journals and making class books with those sight words. And those are the words that you see very frequently used in kindergarten literacy instruction. Thank you for learning about our literacy time.